Morning. I'm super excited to be doing this free workshop series. It is a 4-part workshop series if you're not familiar with how you landed here or why I'm live. But it is a 4-part workshop series over the course of the next 28 days. And I actually had this thought in January. I think it was 29th, 30th, I don't know. Over the weekend, I was thinking I want to show up in some way and help serve. I was literally laying there scrolling my phone as you do in the morning on Saturday morning and started to just continuously see these questions in all these different Facebook groups about how can I explore more often? How can I hit the road more often? How do people make money? Tell me how you're making money. And everybody wanted to know, not everybody, but a lot of people wanted to know, how do I make money from the road? How do I make money in a way that feels really good and lets me travel? And that's what I'm all about. And so I decided I'm going to put together a free workshop series. February is a perfect month because it's exactly 4 weeks. So why not do a 4-part workshop series? And let's just dig right into it. Because it's not as easy as, oh, you can apply for some jobs or there's a lot of remote working jobs. Yes, that's true. You can go and apply for some remote work, but I don't believe, and I can share a little bit more about my experience and why I say that, but I don't believe that remote work really gives you that true freedom and that ability to really go and explore and hit the road whenever you want and travel whenever it's not the holiday weekend, so you can avoid some of the crowds sometimes. That's not what's going to get you there. What's going to get you there is a life of entrepreneurship, and it's a life of starting your own business. But more important than that, what's going to get you there is this desire to show up and serve others and desire to show up in service of others with that servant's heart. And I believe that most of us have that. I truly believe that most of us feel called in some way to give back to the world through our work. And today we're going to be digging deep into the why. And that's what this lesson is called, this first workshop is called. And that's because I firmly believe, and I'll shout it from every single rooftop, every single RV top, whatever you want to say, I firmly believe that we are here to give back in some way. And we can absolutely have a life that lets us travel and lets us work and live abundantly and live excitedly and full of purpose without having to clock in and out and then feel like you're dreading Mondays or you have the Sunday scaries, as they say. It doesn't have to be like that. And I know because I've been doing this for almost 10 years. My 10-year entrepreneurship anniversary is in May, and I'm so thrilled for it. And I've been on a really kind of wild ride. So you might look at my following and say, you've been in this for 10 years? Yes, I've been in this for 10 years. I've also rebranded very recently, and I've been mostly behind the scenes. So the first, I will say 9 years of my journey, not first 8.5, I guess, right at like my 9-year anniversary, basically of entrepreneurship, I was fully behind the scenes. I was the B2B marketer and copywriter that would take everyone else's words and make them sound really good. So I started off as a copywriter, and it came to be by sitting at my kitchen table thinking, I don't know what to do next, but I cannot go back to this 9-to-5 job. And I decided, you know what? I'm going to do my own thing. I'm going to lean in. I'm going to figure this out. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm going to do it because I feel like this is the right next step for me. And it absolutely was. And so for a long time, I was behind the scenes. I was having these meetings, and I was kind of that person just whispering. It's almost like Willy Wonka has that person whispering in the kiddo's ears, like, hey, this is what you're going to do. That was me. I was always behind the scene, like, hey, this is a great strategy. So my very first year of doing this, I reached out to everybody that I knew in town. I got connections, made connections, went to networking events, did all the things that you're supposed to do, and really was very intentional about who I reached out to. Now, I have taught this. I call it the Dream 100. A lot of people call it the Dream 100. That's not my term. But it's basically just that very intentional networking. So you're not splashing yourself all over the place. And I say that because as you're thinking about leaning into a life of entrepreneurship or leaning into this role where you are going out and you're exploring, it can feel very overwhelming and very daunting to feel like you have to be very splashy and constantly on social media and constantly showing up. Now I'm kind of moving that direction because that's where my life has sort of let its way too. And I'm good with that. I want that. I'm fine with it. It's very different than where I was in the beginning, where I'm like, I don't really know what I'm doing. I don't know if this is where I want to be. And some people know immediately that's where they want to be. I just didn't. So the reason why I'm telling you all of this is because today, like I said, or this week, we're going to take this week to really dig into our why. That why might change over time. So I know I will be the first one to admit that exercises like this can sometimes feel a little bit too simplistic. I don't really see the transformation that's going to come out of it. I'm one of those people where if I'm attending a workshop, I want something very tactical to come from it. I want to know my next step. I want to know exactly what I'm going to be doing. I want to know exactly how this is going to play out. Tell me where to show up. Give me that roadmap. Be my GPS for me and tell me how to get somewhere, because I just want someone to lead me in that direction. The reality is, until you're able to really sit down and absorb this first exercise, you're just going to go in everybody else's direction and not your own. And that's not going to get us to a place where we want to be. And I have fallen victim to that a couple of times over the past few years. So again, I don't have these massive follower numbers, and I'm totally okay with that. But that's why. It's because I've been behind the scenes and I've been doing other people's marketing for them. And I've let them be the front and center, which is totally fine. But it's their roadmap, and I'm helping them design their roadmap. But it wasn't until I sat down and did this exercise that we're doing today and this week that I was like, no, this is the roadmap that feels a lot better to me and makes me feel really lit up inside. And, oh, by the way, also lets me go and explore without feeling like I'm letting somebody down or having to call in sick to work, or not call in sick. I would never fake the sickness, but I'm never having to call in and like request PTO or paid time off, or what a lot of entrepreneurs do is not get paid for their time away. And so that will oftentimes stop people from hitting the road, because they're still working for other people. And so they feel like they can't step away. So it was not until I did this exercise that I'm about to lead you through that I started to really realize how I can actually take that time away whenever I needed. And boy, have we all needed it in the past few years with COVID, where you don't know what's happening. If you're a parent, you know that schools can close at the drop of a hat, and you need to be prepared for that, and you need to be ready for that. Always have that plan B. Always be ready to adjust very, very quickly. And that's what having this kind of a lifestyle lets you do. Not only can you travel, it's not all fun and games, but you can also live a life that's a little bit more flexible. So if you have not signed up yet for the challenge through the website, you might not have access to this quite yet, but you can absolutely go and get access to all 4 of the modules. You get a new module every single Tuesday throughout the month of February, totally free. You just have to go and give me your email address so I know where to reach you and where to find you and how you can log in to go and access this. So go and find that website. I'll drop it in the chat here and just after I'm done, but definitely go and sign up. But for now, you don't need the workbook in front of you. It's actually, it's a pretty simple workbook, and you can just journal on this if you would like as well. So the first thing you're going to do, there's just the first 2 steps. First, you're going to list out your why. Why is this ever something that you would want to pursue? When I say this, I mean this lifestyle. Why would you ever want to actually hit the road more often? Why does that matter to you? And why would you want to start a business while you're doing that? Why would that matter to you instead of remote work? Thinking through why you're actually stepping on this path is really, really important, because it lets you stay calibrated and stay on that same path and guided, and puts up those blinders. Actually, yesterday I had somebody reach out and say, hey, I've got a position and I think you'd be great for it. Would you like it? And I get that a lot. And I always have to take a step back and say, do I want to say yes to this? It didn't even mean giving up everything that I've been working on. It just meant adding to my plate. So I had to step back and say, is this what I want? Is this what I want to be doing? Or do I need to be putting my time towards something else, including travel, including stepping away, including taking breaks with my family? And I actually ended up saying no to it. And I'm glad that I did. I woke up this morning thinking, wow, I'm really glad that I've gone through this 5 Whys exercise. So it's really timely that we're actually talking about it today, because if I hadn't, I probably would have said yes and had that knee-jerk reaction of, oh, the money is really, really good. Maybe I should just say yes to it and I'll figure out the timing later. It'll all be okay, right? Not the case. The money will always be there. The time will not. And that's why it's so, so important that, hey, Whitney, it's so good to see you. That's why it's so, so important that we go through these exercises so we can keep those guardrails up and say, you know what? I know I can say yes to this, or I know I should not be saying yes to this. Because when I know I should not be saying yes to this, but I feel that tendency of, oh, but this looks really attractive. It looks really, really good. We also know that that's not everything is rainbows and sunshine all the time, and it's actually a really good time to say no. So having this exercise in our back pocket, constantly coming back to it, is what's going to help us get on the right path, what's going to help make our business really be a very good business that feels really, really great for us. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that, Whitney. That's awesome. The second part of this exercise is we're going to continue to build on that answer. So just like I said, you get that knee-jerk response of, oh, I want to do that, or oh, I'd be really good at that, or the money is really good. I'm going to figure this out somehow, some way, because I just want that money. We always have that knee-jerk reaction of, okay, I'm going to do it. And then we take a step back and say, wait, this is not the right decision for me. But then after that, we need to continue to peel back the layers. So I've done a lot of these find your why exercises before. Like I said, most of the time they don't actually resonate very strongly with me because I just want the tactical, like tell me what to do kind of things. But without this, without going deep on it, I actually just feel like I forget it. So what I want you to do this week, and what I invite you to do this week, and you can choose however you want to do this. You can peel back one layer at a time, one layer a day, or you can just do it all in one fell swoop. It's whatever works best for you. But I want you to continue to go through and ask yourself, why? Pull out the toddler in you and ask, why? I've got a 4 and a 5-year-old, and believe me, I hear that a lot. Why? Tell me why. We want to do that for ourselves now. So this is actually going to be that why exercise that you want to continue to ask yourself. So again, in the workbook, I have a template that you can use, and I have a few examples, but you don't need to do that. Basically, what you want to do is sit somewhere quiet, lock the door if you have to for about 5-10 minutes, even every morning or whatever it is. Wake up a little bit earlier and look at your why. Why are you interested in a lifestyle that lets you be more flexible? Why are you interested in a lifestyle that lets you be more free and lets you explore and hit the road and travel and camp or whatever it is that you want to do? Why does that matter? And then you're going to take that answer, whatever it is, and you'll pull back the layer. Well, why did that matter to me? Why does that matter so much to me? And you're just going to keep asking. And then why did the answer before that matter to me? Why? Just keep pulling back those layers. This is actually an exercise that is not at all revolutionary, and yet we often forget to do it or ignore it because, like I said, it's not super tactical and road map-ish. But it's an exercise that's been used by a little company you might know called Toyota. Yes, the ones that make the trucks and the cars and all the things. They use this. They've used it, I think it was in 1953 that they started this exercise with their team. And they started to do this not only for their customers and for their C-suite and all the executives, but they started to do this for their employees. And it didn't matter what level of the company you were at, but they started to do it for their employees. They started to do this, like I said, for their customers and the different varieties of customers that they had. And the whole purpose is to understand what makes us tick. What's inside of us that makes us feel like this is it. This is what I want. And this is why I want to do it. And I know without a shadow of a doubt that this is my direction that I'm going. And this is the right path for me. And this is where I'm supposed to be. These are where I'm supposed to be planting my feet and taking those steps forward. Even if I cannot see where I'm going right now, I know that I'm on the right journey. So I want you this week, like I said, go through, ask yourself why, and then ask yourself why again, and continue to ask yourself why. I'm going to give you another use case for this because I love to use examples. And I have done this in my consulting work quite a bit. And one of the things that I love to do is market research. I love to talk to people. I love to get to know people. And I really like to understand what's going on below the surface, that they're not feeling like they're giving me the right answer all the time. Do you know, sometimes you have those conversations where somebody will tell you something because they feel like that's what you want to hear, or they'll tell you some, especially in a business setting, or they'll tell you something because they think that's what they're supposed to say. This exercise will help you kind of break down that barrier and really get to know the person on the other side of the coin. So as you're having sales conversations, Everyone in business is going to sell at some point. Selling does not have to be this ugly 4-letter word. It can be something actually really beautiful, and especially when you approach it through this lens. So using the 5 whys template in a conversational setting, where you're sitting over coffee, you're chatting with somebody in your DMs, whatever it is, and just starting to peel back those layers and getting to know them. Why? Why does that matter to you? And then really, really listening, really being empathetic with the way that you listen to them, because they might give you a response that kind of takes you aback and you didn't think about it that way. That is such a great opportunity for you to say, wow, I had no idea that's what you needed, but I actually can help you with that. And I didn't even expect to be able to help you with that. And when you're really genuine about it and you're really listening from a true empathetic standpoint, you're able to reach people on a far deeper level and serve those people, have that servant's heart and show up at that servant's heart for those people in a way that's going to truly make a difference. And I know we're talking about a business that lets you earn more and explore more. At the surface, that's really what we feel like we want. But underneath the surface, I can add on another E to that, to show up with empathy and really show up with compassion for other people. Because when we do that, it makes all of those adventures in life and in business feel 10 times better. 10 times better, if not 100 times better, because we know we've actually made a difference. We as humans, we want purpose. We want to know our calling, and we want to do something that matters. And this is the way that we're going to take that first step this week and get to that point and show up in a way that matters. So I am going to stop the workshop here, the first workshop, and I really, really, really want you to go through this. Ask yourself the question of, why do I want this lifestyle? Or ask it from your customer's point of view. Why do I need what you have to offer? And then peel back those layers and start to, and you might not need 5, you might only need 3 whys, you might need 21 whys. It doesn't matter. Just continue to peel back those layers until you finally get that emotional response of, I need this because I need to be free. Or I need this because I don't know how much more time I have left on this earth and I need to be able to explore, whatever it is for you. And then at the end of it, you're going to start to see a solution pop up. You're going to start to see, it'll naturally, organically appear of, okay, this is what's next. This is what I'm supposed to be doing and how I'm supposed to be showing up. And that solution can be so powerful. I talked about Toyota, and you might think they just sell cars. Why is that like this very impactful and like full of purpose type thing? Usually when we think of purpose, we think of like life coaching, that people through some really big decisions. But even a car manufacturer that feels very nuts and bolts, literally, and mechanical, literally, they go through an exercise like this to really understand what their customers need. They go through an exercise like this to understand, what is that dashboard really going to look like and feel like? Where do they put their phone while they're driving so they can both stay safe but also feel like they're connected, and they don't feel like, and they'll actually honor that just by their basic daily habits. How many cup holders do they really want to have up front? These are little things that we can actually really incorporate into our business to make huge differences in how much we earn, how often we're able to explore, because we're also doing this for ourselves, remember? And then how we're able to show up in this world and really design something that's going to be impactful and purposeful and really make a difference and really matter. So I cannot wait to see what you guys come up with. Feel free to use this group. So throughout the month of February, this group is open to you. It's a group where I'm going to be in it every day and happy to do coaching in it. If you come up with something and you're like, I did this exercise and I really don't understand what I'm supposed to do next, ask me. Feel free to ask me, because I want to be here to answer it. I am here to answer it, and I want to answer it. And so, or share like a light bulb moment, share a win, whatever it is. But let's use this group to this whole month of February. It will be archived at the end of the month, but we've got 28 strong days together where we can really just start to brainstorm what each other can do to earn more and explore more and really get ourselves out into the world in a way that feels so, so good. So again, I can't wait to see what you come up with, and let's continue this conversation in the group. I will be back next Tuesday for workshop part 2, and it'll probably be about the same length of time, short and sweet, brief and brilliant, that kind of a thing. And then and we can continue to move this ball forward and really get clarity around what is going to matter to you, to your customers, and how you can use that to really earn and explore more. Thanks, guys.